Hi there, business owner, and welcome to the 3Bs podcast, the place where we go beyond the numbers and dive into strategies to help you build a better business one step at a time. I'm your host, Stephanie, a multi-award-winning entrepreneur with over a decade of experience in the bookkeeping and accountancy world. If you're a business owner looking to streamline, grow, and get back the time that you deserve, you're in the right place. We're tackling real-world problems, answering tough questions, and digging deep into business-building secrets in just 15 minutes each week. So are you ready to build a better business with confidence and clarity? Then let's go. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 3Bs podcast, where we keep business simple, finance honest, and tax talk totally panic-free. As always, I'm your host, Stephanie Marshall, and today we're going to talk about making tax digital for income tax, or as they are now calling it, MTDIT. It's been on the horizon for what feels like forever, delayed more times than a budget airline flight, but now it's officially happening. And true, April 2026 might feel like ages away, but it's just not. We're now just 6 months away from the start of the first tax year under MTDIT. If you're a sole trader or a landlord earning over £50,000 combined, then this episode is for you. In this episode, I'm going to explain what MTD actually is without jargon, who's included and when, what you need to do now to avoid chaos later, and how to make it all way less painful than it seems. Let's get into it. So what is making tax digital for income tax? In the plainest of English, it's HMRC's way of moving self-assessment into the digital world. If you are self-employed or a landlord and your income, stress income, not profit, income, is over a certain threshold, you will be required to keep digital records, use HMRC compatible software, that's not spreadsheets, guys, submit quarterly updates to HMRC, and send a final end of year submission. So instead of one tax return per year, you'll be sending 5 things, 4 quarterlies plus 1 year end. Well, why? Because HMRC wants more real-time view of your income. And let's be honest, they want fewer errors and they want to make sure that they get in the tax that they are due. MTD starts with 2 groups. So right now it's just going to be the 2 groups, which is sole traders, which is any person who has a business, runs a business, that's not a limited company or a charity. Sole traders are often when people just start a job. So if you're a tradesperson, quite often you'll just go out on your own sort of thing. You register as self-employed, that makes you a sole trader. If you have more than one business or rental property, it's the total income what matters. Important dates that you need to remember are April 2026. You're included if your gross income from your 24-25 tax return is £50,000 or more. Now, your 24-25 tax return is due by January 2026. You should already be doing it. You've heard me talk about it on the podcast time and time again. It's important to get it done nice and early to know where you stand. And this year, it is more important than ever. If your 24-25 gross income across sole trader businesses and rental property is £50,000 or more, from next April, you will be required to do the 4 quarterlies and the end of year submission. As it stands, April 2027 is going to be on with £30,000 or more. And below £30,000, it's being reviewed right now. It's not mandatory, but there are rumours that it will be £20,000 from April 2028. We have to listen to Rachel Reeves or whoever is in Parliament when they do their budgets to get final announcements or any of those. But April 2026 is signed, sealed, delivered. The beta is already live. People are already testing it out. So it's important to note that that is coming into force. From April 2027, like I say, it's likely from £30,000 upwards. If you weren't self-employed in 24-25, so are not going to be included from the 50,000, but then from April 2027, the qualifying income is 60, 70, 80,000, you'll still be included. So anything over 30,000 will be included. Realistically, I think what's going to happen is the majority of people who are self-employed or have property income will need to be ready by April 2028, which means your systems and processes need to be in place long before then. And there is no better time than the present. I'm going to talk about MTD quite a lot on the podcast over the next 6 months because I want to make sure that every business owner that it affects is prepared and fully understands what is required of them, and they've got the support and systems they need to do it themselves going forwards or to take the stress off their plate in the future when it comes to these quarterly submissions. A lot of it, so business owners who are once a year clients, we call them shoebox clients, so clients who come to see us once a year only for self-assessment or tax return purposes. They bring us usually a spreadsheet or a box full of receipts of all their expenses from throughout the year. Those sorts of business owners are going to have to really change the way that they think, change their behaviors and their habits, because it's going to have to be done quarterly as a minimum. I always advise quarterly as a minimum anyway as a business owner, but for those that have been in business a while, for those that are used to doing it once a year, it is a big shift for them. So the earlier you can start practicing getting information to your bookkeeper or accountant, or updating your own books quarterly as a minimum, the easier it will be when it becomes mandatory, and then you've got less chance of getting it wrong and getting fines and penalties. One of the biggest questions that I'm asked is, what software can you use? This is the big shift, I think, for people that are used to paper records or spreadsheets, because they just won't cut it anymore. To comply with MTD legislation, you will need MTD compliant software to record your income and expenses, submit those quarterly updates, and finalise your annual figures. Some popular options are Xero, which we love and use at ABCS UK. Free Agent, again, a fantastic option if you have a Metal or a NatWest bank, because you can get software free of charge. Sage, they've introduced a free and a paid option, I believe, although I haven't tested it out. And QuickBooks have also got a solution too. If you are a spreadsheet lover and you really don't want to move to software, there will be bridging tools, and the HMRC do list all of their recognised tools and softwares that you can use, although I promise you it's not ideal, and the earlier you start using this software, the better. My advice is to choose a platform that you'd actually use, because it should make your life easier, not add more admin. This MTD should make it much easier for you. Not only that, it will show you a running total of what tax you should be keeping to one side. So it's going to be easier than ever to prevent those mistakes from not saving for tax, not saving enough for tax, that panic at year end that maybe you've been going through for years and years as a business owner. So what are quarterly updates? Right now, you do one tax return a year. Under MTDIT, you'll submit a summary of income and expenses every quarter, and then one final return to confirm and make all your end of year adjustments. It's important to stress that you won't pay tax quarterly yet. They absolutely can change their mind on that. But HMRC will give you an estimate of what's building up, which again, I think is much easier for clarity. So yes, it's more frequent, but it's also more predictable. I think I'm one of the minorities when I think this MTD is a good thing, because it's actually going to prevent business owners getting into some of the messes they have over the years by either ignoring it or not putting it in place soon enough, and then getting to the end of year and not being able to pay their tax bill, or not having all the documents to support reducing their tax bill by allowable expenses. The deadlines follow the same pattern each year, and once your system is in place, it can be just another part of your workflow. It can be smooth. It's not about micromanaging from the HMRC's perspective. It is about removing surprises, and they will get the tax they're due quicker. They won't have to wait for the tax they're owed, and you'll be able to save more effectively for your tax bill, so that you've not got the surprise at year end too. So you're probably thinking, well, why are you talking about this now? We've got 6 months. What do I have to do right now? Well, the thing is waiting until 2026 is just far too late. To avoid the last minute panic, you're going to want to check your income now. Check your 24-25 tax return. If you haven't done it yet, or if you haven't instructed anybody to do it yet, get on that sooner rather than later. Are you over that £50,000 threshold from self-employed or property income? Don't forget, it's the income, not the profit. It's the money you physically get from the sale. If you use things like Stripe or PayPal, it's the actual physical cost of the sale, not the amount that's paid out to your bank. And I think it's really important to stress that, because many business owners make errors when they're checking their turnover, because they don't count the actual sale value. They only count what hits their bank. If, yes, you are over that £50,000 threshold, then MTD will apply to you from April 2026. To avoid the last minute panic, you're going to want to get on compatible software now, not in 2026, not in April next year. This gives you time to learn it, set it up properly, and avoid overwhelm. Many bookkeepers and accountants are already making tax digital already. I know we are with both Free Agent and Xero. So we can help you set it up. We can get things in place. Even if you want to continue doing it yourself, there is people out there that can help support you with your software to get it working for you, to get you to understand it and make it as easy and pain-free as possible. Start quarterly reviews now too. If you're not already doing them, even if you don't have to submit, practice this process. It will highlight gaps in your records. It will help get you into that rhythm. It will help change that habit and that behavior so that taxes don't have to be so stressful. And finally, speak to your bookkeeper or accountant. If you don't have one, get one, We can help you plan, choose the right tech, and stay ahead of the curve. So it's one less thing you have to remember. You don't need to listen into the budget. You don't have to worry about the changes because your bookkeeper or accountant, if you have one, should give you that information if it affects you and when it affects you, so that you can make sure you are compliant throughout the year. Look, I know that this sounds like an absolute faff. It sounds like a waste of time, and it sounds like so much more admin that you've got to do every single quarter. And yes, it is more admin up front. But once it's embedded, MTDIT can actually help you. As I said, it gives you a clearer picture of your finances all year round. Specifically, if you're a seasonal business, if your busy period is Q2, and then you have a really quiet Q3, that will be reflected in those quarterly submissions so that you're not just holding on to money, and cash flow can be freed up if you're saving money for taxes you don't need to, or if you need to save a bit more as you're heading into your busier period. Knowing that information is really going to help you build your business. It also stops that last minute tax stress in January that I talk about every single year on here, on the blogs, on webinars. All the time I talk about how you don't want to leave it till January. Not only is it stressful for you, but you're not going to get as a responsive response from a bookkeeper or an accountant, because tax stress in January works for accountants and bookkeepers too. Like, it's our busiest time of the year. It causes huge amounts of stress for us, for the last minute people that suddenly decide in December that they can't do it themselves and they need to instruct a new client. Onboarding a new client to submit a tax return is not an easy process. We have to go through anti-money laundering checks. We have to onboard you. We have to get authorization codes from the HMRC, which are still posted to your house by snail mail. And we can't do anything until we've got that code and submit on your behalf. You have letters of engagement to sign. There's so many different steps to onboarding a client to a bookkeeping and accountancy practice that actually, if you wait until the end of December, you're going to struggle to get the January deadline. And we do have them. I have them every January, usually over Christmas, at the end of December, beginning of January. People panic and they come and they're like, oh, and then the price is higher because we have to rush that. So then there's a price for almost like an extra charge, because we're going to have to move other jobs around and to prioritize yours, which means it's going to cost more. So let's not do that, and let's get it done now, nice and easy, because the businesses that stay calm and prepare early will glide through this change to MTDIT. They'll be confident, they won't have to worry about it. They'll either have somebody like us at ABCS UK in their corner, or they will fully understand what they got to do. The ones that wait until March 2026, not so much. The first quarter is April to June 2026, with submission by the 7th of August 2026, similar to how the VAT works. Now, I know full well that August 2026 is going to be one of the busiest months in my practice, because we have capacity for new clients, which means that our new client list is going to be huge. We're going to have a waiting list in place for those that are having that last minute panic, despite the fact we're talking about it years ahead. I know business owners that still don't think this is coming into force because it's been delayed so many times. Now, I understand that. I understand the fear. But if you take anything from this podcast, from this episode, it is happening. It is happening. And I don't want you to fall behind. I don't want you to have the extra stress. Business owners, we have enough. Get prepared now. Let's get it done now. And let's get you ready for MTDIT, so that it's just another process you have to go from. And if you're doing it alone right now and you start to instruct someone to support you on a monthly or quarterly basis, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel so much freer. You're going to have the weight lifted off your shoulders. It's going to make you more productive, make you more money, and help you to build a better business. I'll get off my soapbox now. Don't forget that actually having MTD will help you make better business decisions, because you'll have real numbers, real data, and that can only help you in your business. I also want to clear up a few things really quickly. If you're saying, I only do a bit of Airbnb, it won't apply to me, if your total income is over 50,000, then you're going to be included. If you're going, it's fine, I'll just use my spreadsheet. Well, no, the HMRC will require digital links between data and submission. Spreadsheets alone won't cut it. You're still going to have to learn bridging software and how to do that and how to submit that data from your spreadsheet into the bridging software to the HMRC. Why have the admin burden? Find software now, get used to that software. Again, going to help you in your business, make you more profitable, make you more productive, make you more efficient. If you're saying I'll deal with it when it launches, then you're going to miss the first quarterly deadline before you know it, and then you're going to have fines and penalties, and then you're going to come to a bookkeeper or an accountant with your tail between your legs, because you're going to have an extra fine to pay, and nobody wants to pay an extra fine if they don't need to. Let's deal with it now. And another thing I've heard people say is it's just for landlords. Well, no, it's for all self-employed income over the threshold. That includes selling on Etsy. That includes Airbnb. That includes renting out properties. That includes your sole trader job if you're a hairdresser, or even bookkeepers. If they're a sole trader and run a bookkeeping practice and then rent out a house or have a cottage by the sea or something, if that total income is over £50,000, then they're going to be included too. Trust me when I say you'll thank yourself when you're not scrambling under pressure. And if you're not sure whether you're included, what tools you need, or how to start, that's exactly what we help with at ABCS UK. So you can go to abcsuk.com, you can book a free 15-minute discovery call, and we can talk through the best options for you. It may be a one-off strategy session, it may be a power hour, or it may be one of our MTDIT ready services. We'll get you sorted step by step, no drama, and a real person helping you build your business. Next week on the podcast, we're going to talk about the company's house changes. Trust me, you need to know what's coming. Specifically, if you're a director of a UK limited company, if you are a person of significant control, or if you're thinking about becoming either of those things. Hit follow so you don't miss it. Subscribe and hit the notification bell on YouTube. Like, rate and review. I'd be really grateful if we could get the numbers up and push this out a little bit further. If you could just take 5 seconds to hit that 5-star, I'd be super grateful. So until next week, keep it simple, keep it smart, and never underestimate the power of being prepared. I'm Stephanie, and this was the 3Bs podcast. I'll see you next week for the next one. Bye. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the 3Bs podcast. I hope you found it useful and that you're walking away with some motivation, inspiration, or education to help you build a better business. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and of course connect with us on social media for more insights, tips, and behind the scenes content. Your next step in building a better business is just a click away. I can't wait to connect with you, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.